What's up guys, today's review will be the 2003 Nicktoon, that is, my life as a teenage robot. Like how you imagine turning yourself into a robot, being a teenager robot, and fighting crime, and saving the world from bad guys. My Life as a Teenage Robot is originally aired on Nickelodeon, Nicktoons, Teen Nick, originally streamed on Hulu, and it's beta on Disney+, and currently streaming on Paramount+. The series follows XJ9, Jenny Wakeman, as she prefers to be called, who is a highly sophisticated state-of-the-art sentient gynoid automaton robot girl created by her mother Dr. Nora Wakeman, an elderly robotics scientist. 5 years before the series, Jenny is Earth's protector, armed with a wide range of weapons and devices, but simply wants to live the life of a normal teenager. Jenny's friends are her neighbors Brad and Tuck Carbuncle. Brad is outgoing and adventurous, and is the first human friend Jenny makes, while Tuck is Brad's rambunctious younger brother who usually tags along on adventures. Another one of her friends is Sheldon Lee, a somewhat stereotypical nerd who is obsessed with her. Jenny often rejects his romantic advances, but still cares for him as a friend. At high school, Jenny has an ongoing rivalry with the Crust cousins, Britt and Tiff, the popular girls in school. Dr. Wakeman often tries in vain to control her creation and keep her daughter focused on protecting the planet Earth. Adding to her trouble is that she is constantly being dogged by the all-robotic cluster empire, whose queen, Vexus, and sometimes Commander Smitus or Krakus, wants her to join their world of robots, by force if necessary. Despite it all, Jenny struggles to maintain some semblance of a mostly human life. The writing for this show is pretty solid, as even though it can be a bit clunky and dull at times, and the concept of a teen superhero balancing their duties and a normal life has been done to death. The fact that the main character is a robot is a neat way to shake that concept up. The action scenes are a lot of fun, it has a neat retro look to it, there's some decent humor, there is some cool world building, and there is some nice charm to it. But the third and final season, while not bad, was weaker compared to the first two, and the series sadly didn't get an official ending. The series does have a good amount of solid episodes, such as It Came From Next Door, Raggedy Android, Unlicensed Flying Object, Party Machine, Speak No Evil, See No Evil, Return of the Raggedy Android, Sibling Tsunami, Dressed to Kill, This Time With Feeling, Trade Show Showdown, Victim of Fashion, Mind Over Matter, Future Shock, Teen Team Time, Sister Sledgehammer, Dancing with Michelle, Armagadroid, Designing Women, Brad Venture, and Escape from Cluster Prime, which really should have been the series finale looking back. But the series does also have some weak, bad episodes like I Was a Preschool Dropout, Love Em or Leash Em, and Labor Day. The action scenes are very well handled, as they manage to be a lot of fun and can even be quite gripping, such as Jenny and her friends encountering a villain or a group of villains and facing them on, them getting into tie jams and trying to get out of them, the chase scenes and space battles, and them escaping from certain death. The show also has some pretty decent humor, as even though they're not hilarious and some do fall flat, as a good chunk of the comedy does get a decent laugh, such as some of the witty banter and dialogue between the characters, the snarky comebacks and remarks, the gags and occasional slapstick, the occasional adult joke and dark humor, and some of the pop culture references. The animation is pretty well done, as it has a pretty nice art style that does really complement the series, such as the characters all having some pretty nice designs that are accompanied by some pretty lively and fluid movements. The backgrounds are well drawn, colored, and designed, and there are some pretty solid special effects. The characters are mostly all pretty likable, as even though there's not a whole lot to them, and they do have their despicable moments, for the most part a good chunk of them do manage to be very likable due to their chemistry, dynamics, little bit of growth, humor, and charisma, such as the cybernetic Jenny, who's a very solid protagonist, the smooth and kind-hearted Brad, the weird but friendly Sheldon, the stern but overall caring Nora, and some of the more minor, one-off characters like Melody, Vega, Misty, Jenny's sisters, and a few others. But if there were some characters I thought were pretty weak, there's Tuck, who I thought got pretty annoying real quick, and most of the time the Crust Cousins are just the stereotypical popular mean girls. The series also has a pretty solid rogues gallery of villains that do prove themselves to be quite formidable foes, but they can also have their more funny moments too, like the powerful and cold-hearted Queen Vexus and her higher-ranking members of the cluster like Smitus and Crackus, the troublemaking Space Spikers, the Crust Cousins whenever they get some sort of power, the seductive Raggedy Android, the cute but determined Kilgore, the massive Armagadroid, the energy vampire Gigawatt, the medieval Lancer, the vile Dr. Locus, and more. The voice acting is pretty well done, as the voice actors all manage to deliver some pretty solid performances, such as Janice Kway as Jenny, Candy Milo as Nora, Chad Dork as Brad, Audrey Vasilevsky as Tuck and Misty, Quinton Flynn as Sheldon, Moria Quirk as Britt, Cree Summer as Tiff, Earthkid as Vexus, and many more. The music is pretty solid, as it is relatively well composed and really does manage to capture the show's comedic and action-packed tone. And speaking about a movie, this show has its own movie from Nickelodeon and Frederator Studios, My Life as a Teenage Robot, Escape from Cluster Prime in 2005. And speaking about video games, the characters from the show made it to appear in Nickelodeon crossover games, Nicktoons Basketball in 2004, Nicktoons Freeze Frame Frenzy also in 2004, Nicktoons Attack of the Toy Bots in 2007, Super Brawl Universe mobile game in 2018, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl in 2021, Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3, Slime Speedway, and Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 in 2022. Only Jenny Wakeman made it to appear as a playable character in these games. And what is my verdict on this show? I'm giving this show 8.5 out of 10. Pretty great Nicktoon related to superheroes.